2 Temple Chimps is an achievement in Balloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to complete an entire game of chimps using just 2 towers. He also said temples as a mistake. Today we're going to be trying doing this with the Master Bomber and the Sun Temple today on 3 mines round. So we placed down a ninja here because obviously we can't place down a super monkey on round 6. What kind of funds are you on when you're starting a chimps game and you can access the most powerful base tower of them all? No wait, that's the mortar. Well, in my fictitious head I presume that is the case. Because what other tower can access the entire map like the mortar? Well, there's the ace, there's the heli. I prefer the heli over the ace, to be honest. You're not going to do very well as a ninja if you don't have yourself some discipline. But for your ninja, when it comes to a 2TC, when having it as a Master Bomber, you either pursue some discipline or you have some counter-espionage if you acquire that D-camo for round 51. I'm thinking like Spear of the Forest and Master Bomber as a combination. That requires the middle path here, despite the fact that later on you'd rather have the top path. But you couldn't get the top path because then you wouldn't be able to actually get through the game just with the top path. Because, well, you can't handle the camos with just the ninja. Wello balloons here. Yellow, I mean. Wello. Combine melon and yellow. No, thank you. We've got enough big targets as we have going on anyways. No, that's not a hint towards a Moab skin. We're not facing off against Watermelon 0MG today. What we will be doing though is getting some flash bomb into place because we need to get this before round 28. And if we try and mine away at this, then we'll be able to actually get that popped for round 28. We'll just get severely outpierced if we try and get away at this without upgrading you at all so that we can face off against some of the early rounds. I'm thinking like 27. That's a good round to indicate that if you don't have enough pierce, you're not going to get through round 27. What happens on 27? A high amount of red balloons spawn, a high amount of blue balloons spawn, a high amount of green balloons spawn, and a high amount of yellow, all very much concentrated right next to each other. So you look at that. You need something like a top half boomerang to comfortably solo all of this. Or in this case, just get yourself a flash bomb. Right, put down our super monkey over here before we do anything else. And I need it for it to be in a spot where it's going to be able to aim down here without being pierce capped if, let's say, if we place the temple up here. Now, the Sun Temple has received a rather bad change going into Update 52, where it requires more cost sacrifices to be able to get to a lot of the major and minor benefits that you get. So rather than, let's say, going up to, I think it's 500, where it used to be where you get the first set of benefits, it's now like, oh gosh, let me pull up the updates here. I think it was like from 501 to something like 15,000. Yeah, from 300 to 10,001 for a major, and then the second one would be from 1,001 to 15,001. So basically, everything goes up in every 5,000 increments, starting from 10,000. Where it used to be 300, 1001, 2001, 4001. It used to be set numbers, but those set numbers were much lower. Also, I forgot to mine away at this. So in Update 51 in the 2TC index, there are quite a lot of combinations which can be done with the Sun Temple, but because of the sacrifice changes, I suspect ones like the Ultra Juggernaut, where you're only able to receive probably the 15k benefits, but not the 20k benefits, thinking about all of the costs. I think it's just below 20k if I remember correctly. So I'm just going to do some math here. Whenever you're doing any calculations for a chimps run, always do it in a sandbox scenario so that you can work out the costs of everything. So let's say if I put you at 20,001. Perhaps I should have done this with nothing here. Okay, so that is just below 20k. because to place you down as 215, and that obviously we could afford everything here. So it's just below 20k, therefore you're only able to receive a few benefits, whereas beforehand you would go all the way up to the last two sorts of benefits that you get by going through the primary pursuit path, but now you can only receive 2 benefits by going here. So therefore I think Ultra Juggernaut and Sun Temple are no longer possible. Okay, so round 40, let's upgrade you to Sticky Ninja so that now you can throw sticky bombs on Moabs. But I don't think the Master Bomber and Sun Temple are affected because of the fact that the Master Bomber, just going through these upgrades alone, costs more than 50,000 in hard. So therefore, the changes are unaffected once you get to 50k sacrifices. Now I would like to get ourselves Ultra Vision for the Super Monkey, so that we can A, knock balloons back, and B, get that camo detection. Along with doing a bit more damage against camo balloons, there's nothing like the spy plane benefit that it got in 50 or 51, I believe, where rather than doing +1 damage or +2 damage to camo balloons, it's now ×2 damage to camo balloons, which is a pretty big upgrade if you ask me. It still isn't something that would make me want to pursue a Sky Shredder camo solo scenario. Get that for 10k, by the way. But it's an option if you think it's worthwhile having it as an option as a camo solo. For me, no thank you. I'd like to have something else that can pop camo balloons alongside the ace. Thank you very much. Well, specifically the top half ace. Top half is my least favorite of the aces. And that is, speaking of which, to get to the Sky Shredder. I like the Sky Shredder when you get it, but I just don't think it's worth the huge price tag and the amount of waiting that you need to do in order to get it in the first place. Now let's upgrade you to Plasma Blast because we need additional damage. By the way, we're going to go to Sun Avatar because I believe that when we get to round 61, just sticking with Plasma Blast is not going to cut it. We're not going to be able to get enough pierce in order to handle the huge amounts of zebra balloons on that round, which will go completely out of control when it comes to its population. Population, more than we can handle. This outbreak is too much. Zebra zombies. As of the time of this recording, there might be a 23 Megapops video in the future featuring another ace, which I haven't talked about actually, but it's a tier 4. That's the only clue I'm going to give. It's a tier 4 monkey ace, which I'm playing on. And the only round that's kind of stopping me at the moment is 138. Fathoming out that round and going from there. What happens on that round? So many DDTs and fortified DDTs. Right, one more round and we have money for the Sun Avatar. It's the equivalent of like I was supposed to be equivalent of a Tech Terror, which I think is comparable, but I don't think you could really compare the Sun Avatar to, let's say, the Dark Champion. That is on a different level altogether. Yeah, when this map released, there was a bug with the Middle Path Mermonkey abilities where it used to bounce off map borders rather than just bouncing off objects. So let's say these ore deposits, for example, the icicle balls that it throws out can bounce off, let's say, these, or the tent up here, or this in the southeast corner. I have to call it the southwest. Maybe if you flipped the map, it would be southwest. Then again, everything would be would be back to front. Okay, 62. This is the round in which I'm a little bit worried by going for a Sun Avatar rather than base Super Monkey, but we seem to be going through pretty well here. The ninja's able to pop all of these camo balloons. When we get to 95 though, that could be a little bit of a concern. Okay, need 25k. I need these two sorted out before I can even think about pursuing the Master Bomber and definitely the Sun Temple. But these two seem to be doing pretty well against the Hall of Ceramics on this round. Sun Avatar has a pretty good amount of pierce considering that we fire off 3 different volleys of light. you are prepared to be flashbanged with 3 different sources from the sun. Yeah, 3 different suns. Yeah, the Fallen's dream from Transformers 2. You don't get just to claim 1 sun, but 3 different suns. And then Optimus says no. Yeah, I really liked the original 3 Transformer movies, but after that one where it's like The Last Night and Revenge, no, not Revenge of the Fallen. What's the 4th movie called? Not The Last Night. I'll get you back to that one in like never really, or it'll just come to me in a different video in the future. It was a Transformers movie that featured Lockdown. I remembered watching Transformers 3 for the first time in cinema, the Dark of the Moon movie, and I remembered everybody going in an uproar in one particular scene near the end of the film. Not going to say what that particular event was, but it was like such a savior moment where something truly tremendous could have happened, and then out of left field comes another Autobot / Decepticon and just saves the day, and then they also get killed. Though not really because of human intuition and us in the Transformer movies deciding it's best if we actually take the spare parts of these Autobots / Decepticons and use them on our own quote-unquote inventions. There can't possibly be any side effects since we perfected them. Yeah, right. It's like rebooting your entire PC, but there's still bits and pieces that made you want to reboot your PC in the first place still lingering within the operating system, or in the hard drive, or anywheres, and thinking, surely there won't be any consequences by leaving this behind. No, not really. Can we do this? Can we do this? Oh my goodness sakes, this is looking bad. How do we do this? 76. This is stupid. How do we do? Okay. How was this possible? How was this possible? Maybe we need to do master, but it doesn't actually benefit the actual. It only benefits against Moabs. That's a problem. And we actually need this bought anyway, so then we can buy that. Like, I don't see a way forward. How was the original creator of this 2TC was able to do this? This is stupid. Round 76, I thought, I know it'd be a bit of a problem, but not this much of a problem. Yeah, this is a scenario where I'd rather have Ultra Juggernaut, because that can actually just wipe out round 76 on its own. But with these two, like there's no change when going from Sticky Bomber to a Master Bomber outside of having a global stick attack. It's not like the explosions it creates are more powerful at all going from Sticky Bomber to Master Bomber. No, not even in like Sandbox we can actually recreate this, even when you go up to Master Bomber. So apparently when you go from Sticky Bomb to Master Bomber, the upgrade increases Shuriken stunned damage from +4 to +19. And does it have any benefits towards the Sticky Bomb or the Flash Bomb itself? Not enlisted. Yeah, I'm sure this requires some shenanigans which I do not have knowledge of that enabled the original completionists of that 2TC to be able to actually do this scenario. So I'm going to leave it off here for today. If at all, if you are watching this video, then please type down below how you managed to do round 76, because honestly, I don't have the foggiest of clues. Maybe the best attempt is to not pursue that particular rock there and go with Master Bomber, but then like you saw yourself in the Sandbox scenario, it didn't really make a difference. If it did, it made a minor difference, but not enough to curb the amount of regrow balloons that you have in that scenario. Maybe you need to place the Super Monkey further down south so that only the Sticky Bomb would be able to affect it. But then it's like, well, how do you get the Super Monkey to be able to do anything throughout the game? You can't solo the early, mid, and late game. Get to round 76 and suddenly you have the Super Monkey there. But I don't know. There's a lot of newly discovered 2TCs when 3 Mines Round was released with the Sun Temple, including Blue Incineration, Energizer. In 52, somehow Lord of the Abyss and Sun Temple is possible. Don't know the shenanigans of what goes down between round 6 to 28, because you would have to pop the second mines on this side over here before round, sorry, on round 28 or before round 28, so that you have the money to get Plasma Blast. And also, Lord of the Abyss and Mad was also done on this map using that kind of similar technique where you have to mine away at this as soon as possible and then mine away as soon as possible so that this triggers at round 28 so that then you get Hydra Rocket Pods. But then other ones were also discovered, like, for some odd reason, Necromancer and Sun Temple is possible. Don't ask me how that is a case. Pirate Lord and Sun Temple was done back in update 39. You have just a minuscule amount of money left from that scenario. Also done on 3 Mines Round. Prince of Darkness obviously done on this map. And the Shattering Shells was also done on this map. Probably made impossible now because of the Sun Temple nerfs to its prize sacrifices. Same with Summon Felix. Same with Super Brittle. The Final Harmonic was also done, but then no, you would actually have to pursue the Plasma Blast around 28 for the Final Harmonic to work with that. Ultra Juggernaut, I found that you are lacking a lot of damage in the late 90s with just Ultra Juggernaut sacrifice. Sorry. Wizard Old Phoenix and Sun Temple should still be possible though. But it's just round 76. It's just, that's the stupid round which I just can't work my head around when it comes to the Master Bomber and Sun Temple. So a little bit of analysis there at the end and why I think that I can't do it myself, but the original completionists obviously were able to make round 76 work, because I think that is the only round which possibly stops you from being able to do this particular combination with the Master Bomber and the Sun Temple. Do not ever think that Grandmaster Ninja and Sun Temple would be possible, because you can't even ninja to solo between round 6 to 28 and have this proc at 28 and then being able to obviously get the upgrades with a Super Monkey to both A, pull it down, and B, purchase Laser Blasts and Plasma Blasts. I don't get how some people are able to do these sort of things in a 2TC scenario. I know one or two things, but I'm not every other person who is able to get some of these completions down. Like, some of these completions, I look at the 2 towers presented, I'm like, how the bloody hell were you able to do that? But then again, I did Golden Justice and Adora, so I can't really talk. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everybody.